What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I want to talk about 5 things to do when you first start out Black Desert or you're a returning player, because there's a lot of things that I want to talk about, and I thought I'd pick out some of the more important ones for part 1. And number 1 would be finding a class you enjoy playing the most, because this game is meant for long-term progression, and there's about, I would say, almost 40 classes in the game, and it's probably going to be very difficult to try to find something you like. So when you're making a character, there's another tab on the right of it called the trial characters. That means you could try different characters out with a decent amount of gear, but you're limited to what you can do. So you could just get the hang of a class you enjoy playing. And so I think that's a good thing to do. But also, picking a class that you enjoy for long term is going to help keep you motivated and not burn you out like every couple of months when they do balance changes and everything. So I think it's a good thing to find something you want to play long term, just because a lot of the time you're going to be playing and grinding and doing all the stuff on one character. So if you're just trying to chase the meta and play the most overpowered thing, I can point you in the right direction and tell you what to do, but whether that's fun or not is a little bit different. So yeah, one thing, try to find a character you enjoy. If you need help with that, just tell me your play style and I can help narrow the choices down to like a few things, or you can just join the Discord and all that stuff. So always happy to help, but that is probably going to be the number 1 thing for starting this game, is finding something you enjoy. Number 2, once you are finally in the game, the first thing I would recommend is changing and adjusting all your settings. So when you're first in the game, you're probably going to see a bunch of pop-ups like at the top of your screen, like this item has been sold or this item has been enhanced. As a new player, you have no idea what that even means. So adjusting your settings outside of just your basic graphics and everything, what I would do is go to general settings, and basically all the show hide, adjust all of these to your liking. Alerts, make sure to turn all of these off until you think you need to turn them on again. So, all the notifications you're seeing at the top of your screen, no one needs to see that. I can guarantee you, whether you're a beginner all the way to endgame, you just don't need to see it. The less clutter on your screen, the better. So turn all these off. It's under alerts, and when you think you might need to see it, then you can turn it on. But they're on by default. Why? I have no idea, but they shouldn't be. So yeah, that's kind of one of the big things. I have an entire settings and UI video. It's kind of long, but it goes over every single setting I use. But for new players, at least just go into general and then like quality of life and show hide and alerts. Make sure to just adjust those as highest priority. After that, it's just performance settings and everything. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description if you care to watch it. If not, cool. Just do your own thing. And this kind of goes into the next thing. Season characters and the Olvia Academy. So when I talked about playing a character you enjoyed, the first thing you're going to want to do is make that character on a season server, or just a seasonal character. What does that mean? Your character will have an icon over here that says season character. Basically, it's like the tutorial server, or like the tutorial of the game. It'll help get you caught up to like mid and end game players a lot faster than if you were just starting out without it. And basically, the way it works is you have a special kind of gear called Tuvala gear. And this is beginner stuff that it's really easy to upgrade, and just it helps you catch up a lot faster. And then once you graduate from seasons, that's when you get to the mid game, and then you basically go get different gear from there. So the way you know you're on season is, well, one, there'll be like a season token when you're creating a character, and there's just like a checkbox that says, do you want to play it on season? You want to do that, especially if you're a new player. And so what does that give you in terms of like non-seasons? You get your own exclusive season servers, which have like XP buffs and everything. So you just play on these that like veteran players cannot go onto unless they're on a season character. Plus the gear is capped for new players, so like you're learning at the same pace. And then it's not that you can't play on all the other ones, it's just generally during non-event times, These will just give you more XP than the other ones, so it helps you catch up and learn things a little bit quicker. So yeah, with the recent Olvia Academy that came out last month, I'd recommend starting to do that starting at level 60, which doesn't actually take too long. I have a video talking about how to level up fast, progression, what you should do, beginner tips and everything. But if you just want to play that on your own time, getting to 60 probably take you, if you're like a new player, I would say maybe a week or so. But if you're like a veteran player, you can do that in a couple hours. So starting on season character, do the story, do the important quest you think you should do that gives you all the gear. If you want a guide on that, watch the videos that I did. I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, this game, surprisingly, going into 2026, has a lot of catch-up mechanics and gear that they give you for new players. So it's actually a lot easier than it used to be. And I think it's really nice. So that's my recommendations for newer players, and or even if you've played the game before, like let's say you've played 2 years, like 5 years ago or something, and then you're like, oh, I want to come back. What do I do? Make a season character, go play on your season servers, get bonus XP, catch up again, get all the rewards and codes, and you're good to go. The next thing I want to say for this one is finding a guild. Now, I know BDO is about like 95% solo play, whatever you're doing, but being in a guild is always important, and there's a lot of different things you can do. So whether you're a PvPer, a PvEer, life skiller, there's a lot of different guilds in the game, and the way you would do this is going to like the guild, and then you go to like guild rankings, and then basically all of this, it'll say like this guild does what? It's like some guilds are PvP, PvE. Just find a guild that works for you. But the main reason for being in a guild, aside from the whole social aspect and, you know, like meeting new friends and everything, is you get guild skills. Being in a guild basically gives you bonus stats that will help you no matter what you're doing. So just having all these skills are always nice. And then every now and then guild buffs are a thing. So you just pop these and then, you know, you can level up faster, do stuff a lot quicker. And just generally events in the guild will, you know, help you progress. So you should always be in one, no matter what you do. Just find the guild that works for you. And usually I understand when people are like, oh, I'm just a solo player, and that's why I started the game. Being in a guild just to get the buffs, even if you don't really do much, it's usually a good idea. But I would recommend joining a guild, just, you know, social aspect. That's why you're playing, you know, an online game, right? An MMO, to meet new people and everything. That's always good. And number, was that 5? Is setting up your workers and nodes early. Now, this is something when I first started the game, I didn't really understand, but like, let me just TLDR on you on this. So like, all this, you see this entire world. If you saw this for the first time, you're probably overwhelmed and confused. So you look at all these, and then every single thing over here is a node, right? And then you could put workers on the nodes to collect materials and then bring it back to a town. So let's see, how do I explain this without making it overly confusing for new players? You start at a town. The green ones are like cities, main towns, and everything. You connect this to a node with contribution points, which you get naturally by playing the game and everything. And then once you connect a node to a path from the town, you can put a worker on it. And you see how there's like a timer with a pickaxe over here? That means you could get a sub node in there, and then they'll bring back materials to the main town that you set it on. And so doing this early, the reason is because it'll bring you materials, and you could either sell them or use them. And if you don't know what to do with them, just sell them. And it's like, as long as you're online, your workers will be doing something and then bringing you materials, which you can sell. So it's basically free money while you're playing the game. And over time, it does add up. So I'd recommend starting that early on in the game rather than later, just because, you know, you're just getting like ahead of people who don't have it. So it's always a good thing. And I guess we'll talk about one more thing that's kind of obvious, but when people talk about Black Desert, you probably heard of like, oh, it's grindy, RNG, a lot of stuff that, you know, people don't really want to hear, like long-term progression. But there's actually a lot of other things like life skills. You might think if you've ever played another MMO or RPG in your life, you're like, oh, fishing, cooking, alchemy, all the stuff you've seen in other games. It's kind of like that, but more intricate. It goes into more detail, and then it also has like levels and then leaderboards to it, so that kind of gives people the whole competition aspect of the game. And it, like, the end game goal for everyone, no matter what you do, like whether you're a life skiller, PvE or PvPer, is to get the best gear, right? And all of these life skills, they give you money the same way you would be playing it with like grinding circles. And that's your ultimate goal. No matter what you do, find something you like, try different life skills, and hopefully it'll help. And it actually is more complicated than, you know, oh, just go cook various materials, because there's so many recipes in this game, cooking, alchemy, processing, no matter what you're doing, that like it may sound easy, like it's easy to learn but hard to master. Also, fishing, everyone likes fishing, even in other games it's fun. And there's actually a lot of different things. It may sound very basic, but there's a whole like ocean in here, and everything is, you know, complicated. Well, not really complicated, but like there's a lot to do in a way. So every life skill is pretty, I would say most of them are pretty thought out, and you could progress in the game in terms of gear and everything, no matter what you do. So yeah, just try it, exploring different life skills, see which one works for you, which one's fun. So yeah, as a new player, I know you've probably just heard from your friends that, oh, it's a grindy game. It is, but there's a lot of different ways of grinding in a way. So it's not just one thing, which, you know, I see a lot of people is like, oh, I just grind circles for 6 hours a day. I'm like, have you tried anything else? They're like, nope. Well, there you go. You can do something else now. But anyway, those are 6 tips I guess I wanted to share with you guys for beginners and returning players to do. So for the sake of not making the video super long, that was it. If you enjoyed this video, drop a quick like, and maybe we'll do a part 2 in the future, because I have a lot of things I want to talk about, but I didn't want to make an hour-long video. So with that said, thanks so much for watching. Once again, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Getting close to 80,000 subscribers, always a cool milestone. And we got a bunch of videos coming out in the near future with various topics, and then new events coming out in the future. So hope to keep you guys updated on all of that stuff. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.